Hello everyone, what's up? Our April Community Spotlight is a very special one, featuring 2 scale models and 2 Horus Heresy vehicles. 4 vehicles, all weathered, but from 2 very different genres. What could be better? So if you're into weathering and you want to see some current examples of work from Risk for Terra Patreon supporters, this video is for you. Whether you're a wargamer or a scale modeler, if you want to learn more about weathering, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell. Like myself, Rick recently rediscovered military models after a long period of doing only wargaming miniatures. If you watched our previous spotlight, you will have seen Rick's first scale model in over 20 years, an awesome German half-track. This Republican BT-5 is now his second, which he completed just a few weeks later. However, don't let Rick's industriousness fool you. Far from being a quick build, the attention to detail on display here is extraordinary. To begin with, Rick has added several photo etch parts, like the buckles and straps holding the set skirts or the engine grille, and he's also made the lenses for the headlights from scrap clear plastic. In terms of weathering, the same could be said of the chipping, which has a great mix of rust and bare metals, or the metal tracks, which have an amazing finish. Rick explains that this Italeri kit is far from perfect, but that the project was a lot of fun for him nevertheless. If, like Rick and I, you love military history, you will like to know that Rick painted it as part of the Republican Army on the Ebro front in 1937-38. But why did he do that? Well, Rick explains that he felt it was a fitting response to my nationalist Panzer I. While Rick, maybe smaller versions of our tanks can face off in a game of bolt action in the future. Jokes aside, having inspired Rick to take up scale modeling again is one of the things that I'm proudest of as a content creator, particularly given that his skills are clearly superior to mine. Rick, you're an example for many others, myself included, so keep it up. Even though Stefan is an expert Warhammer painter, this impressive 1/35th scale Mark IV is his first venture into the world of scale models. Speaking from experience, I know that a project like this always requires a degree of preparation and a time investment far greater than any Warhammer tank would. Why? Well, first of all, this is due to the number of products and steps involved, and secondly, because of the pressure of maintaining some degree of historical accuracy. Those were not the only challenges, however, as this was also Stefan's first time using things like camo putty, chipping fluid, or oil dot filters. The fact that he took this on despite the massive learning curve involved, and that he then achieved such excellent results, speaks volumes about his qualities as a modeler. His willingness to try new things and take risks is truly inspirational. In fact, ever since he got the weathering bug, Stefan has been experimenting with new products and techniques with each project. To my mind, this Mark IV was a natural progression from the last Horus Heresy models that Stefan put out, like his fantastic Black Shields Librarian, which won first place in a recent painting competition. I'm really looking forward to your next project, Stefan. Like myself, Jan has a soft spot for big and scary vehicles, like his Shadow Sword or now this imposing Lightning Strike Fighter. Although he has yet to enter a scale model for our spotlights, Jan is in fact an experienced military modeler, which clearly shows in the modeled, gritty finish that he chose for this Lightning. Instead of garish airbrushed gradients, he opted for subtle color modulation, emphasized through the cloudy, mottled textures that he achieved in the panels. Likewise, his chipping is varied, organic, and believable, whereas many Warhammer tanks I see these days have exaggerated painted scratches where the brush strokes are easily recognizable, completely breaking immersion. In fact, I would say that if you want a tasteful blend of the 2 genres, military modeling and wargaming, this is a very good example to imitate, guys. Regretfully, you can't really see the base in these pictures, but it sports the remains of a vehicle, and that's another example of Jan's love for detail. Regarding the step that he enjoyed the most, Jan explains that he really loved doing the oil washes, and that the Tamiya lacquer varnishes that I always rave about had made this a lot easier. Tamiya for the win, Jan! Well, if you haven't noticed already, Jan is not only a very prolific modeler, but also a very active member of our Discord community, and is always happy to provide advice and feedback to others. Thank you, Jan. After an extended hiatus to complete his PhD, Joe came back with renewed impetus and has just finished this grimy Salamander's Rhino. Joe's narrative for this model is that this is a post-Istvan vehicle used during a time where not even the Salamanders could afford to spend time and resources maintaining their equipment. He explains that this was the first time he decided to apply heavy weathering to a vehicle, and that he abandoned his normally clean style in favor of lots of chipping, washes, and pigments. Well, Joe, I haven't seen any previous vehicles of yours, but you know my philosophy. A vehicle without weathering looks like a toy figure, no matter how well painted. Joe was kind enough to send us work-in-progress pictures, which I don't normally require, so here you can see his project step by step. Although I must say I'm not convinced about that metallic green paint, the aggressive chipping and the rust effects are right up my alley. Like myself, Joe is now avidly printing 3D models of various sorts, and I have it in good authority that he's working on something really, really big. So how soon are we going to see that Awesomeness construct, Joe? So guys, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I know that I did. As I said in our previous spotlight, I'm really proud that we're the only channel showcasing work that is not only really cool, but most importantly, that is work across modeling genres. Why should wargamers and scale modelers remain in their little isolated camps? Try something new for a change, and you might be surprised. Thank you all, and remember, keep it up and weather it out.